Right then, lads, welcome back to 99Sport. My name is Cossy, and we are still reacting to the dugout, the fallout of Lukaku despising Chelsea. And the latest is that he's been dropped from the Chelsea squad by Thomas Tuchel. We are really, it's really interesting. It's really fascinating. We're gonna look at it, and is what Chelsea, is what Chelsea are doing the right thing to do? Of course, a lot of fury, a lot of very, very furious messages and tweets and reactions from Chelsea fans. But what exactly do they need to do with Romelu Lukaku? We're gonna be reacting that. The Athletic have actually put down a very, very interesting article about the player and the situation, and we are going to look at it. But then we are also going to see because again, could this be the Aubameyang situation that we've seen at Arsenal? Could it be that, or could it be even worse? Because with Chelsea, they've just spent 100 million on a 28-year-old player, and he's definitely flirting with Inter Milan. And many Chelsea fans are really, really disgusted. So let's get to it. This is from The Athletic a couple of a very, very few minutes ago, and they've said Romelu Lukaku is not in Chelsea's squad to face Liverpool on Sunday. The Athletic understand the 28-year-old striker has scored in his last two Premier League games appearances for Chelsea, but found himself in the center of a controversy this week after an interview was broadcast in which he said he was unhappy with the role at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea head coach Thomas Tuchel has not hidden his displeasure at the unauthorized interview, and said during his most recent press conference that he would hold behind closed doors talks with Chelsea with Romelu Lukaku, who is Chelsea's record signing. Lukaku arrived at the Stamford Bridge from Inter Milan in a deal worth 115 million euros, that is 96.4 million pounds, this summer. Only returned to training last week, having previously suffered from an ankle injury and a bout of COVID-19. He scored in his recent fixtures against Aston Villa and Brighton, but the frustrated club frustrated the club with an interview recorded several weeks ago, but aired on Sky Sport Italia on Thursday, in which he said that he would like to return to Inter Milan in the near future and was not happy with the situation at Chelsea. He said, "I do not like it," Thomas Tuchel said in his press conference after the interview had aired. And he said, "But I don't want to make more out of it than it actually is. It is very, very easy to take lines out of context." So now the manager, that is Thomas Tuchel, has actually dropped Romelu Lukaku from the starting lineup, from the squad, because of the comments he actually made. And that is where I need you lads to give me your thoughts and your opinions to it. Because again, this is not new in the Premier League, especially this season. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, for the exception that Aubameyang didn't actually do an interview, but he actually violated the standards, the non-negotiables at Arsenal. He was dropped from the squad, and his captaincy was taken away, dropped from the squad, and now he's in AFCON. He has never played a game ever since his captaincy was taken away. Is it going to be the same situation with Romelu Lukaku? It's going to be very, very fascinating to see. It's going to be very, very fascinating to see what Chelsea are actually going to do. Now, there are a couple of ways to think about this and look at it, but I'm going to look at three schools of thought. One, Thomas Tuchel drops Romelu Lukaku out in anger. Two, Thomas Tuchel drops Romelu Lukaku because he's never going to get a warm welcome from Chelsea fans at the Stamford Bridge. Three, Thomas Tuchel drops Romelu Lukaku for good. I mean, those are the three perspectives we need to explore. The first one, I think, if dropping him out of anger, it is really understandable. Because the player actually made comments about Thomas Tuchel and the situation at Chelsea, and he said he's not comfortable. He's not really, really happy with the way things are actually being handled and done, at Chelsea Football Club. And in the near future, he would love to go back to Inter Milan. That really shows you the level of disrespect to the manager, the level of disrespect to the club as well. Because look, 100 million he's not the only player that has been signed for 100 million and is sitting on the bench. Grealish is sitting on the bench there at City as well. He did have his time at the beginning of the season. Things have not really worked out as fast as everyone would have wanted at Manchester City for Grealish, and then he's sitting on the bench very, very professionally and very, very quiet. I mean, there's so many players out there that do suffer in silence. I mean, I don't advocate for players to suffer in silence, but I also think about the professional part of it. Right, you've got to think about it before you speak it. You've got to have thought about it. I think with Romelu Lukaku, he spoke what was on his heart. He spoke what he felt. He really didn't actually think about all the professional standards and things like that. He didn't consider Chelsea as a big club, as a big brand. And look, he might be in lots of trouble. I've been watching Laurie, the Chelsea fan, and he makes very, very interesting comments. He says, if you're a Chelsea fan at the moment, Romelu Lukaku deserves worse than he's getting dropped, because one, this is a player that received one of the warmest welcomes at the Stamford Bridge. You still remember at the beginning of the season, he received what a warm welcome that was. What a warm welcome he received as a Chelsea player. I mean, that was very, very statement. It was a very, very big, big of a statement. And just to throw away everything like that in an interview, it's reckless. It's absolutely reckless. It's heartbreaking for the fans. If you can't do it for the manager, if you can't do it for the club, do it for the fans. They were singing Romelu Lukaku right from the first day he stepped onto that Stamford Bridge pitch. They were singing his name, and to see that he's just come out and said, fuck all this. I do not care, right? I don't give a D. This is not the right place for me to be. It's heartbreaking. It's really, really heartbreaking. But again, lads, think about this. Lukaku is, his contract is around 60 million. 60 million. You've got a club has given you that big of an opportunity. You've got to respect them back. You've got to show them some respect, and he's not done that. And you understand why Chelsea fans are really angry. And I understand now why Thomas Tuchel has dropped him, because it's not saddening. It is angering. That's the word. It's absolutely angering. But then the other thing, the other school of thought that he's actually dropped him to protect him from the Chelsea fan base could also be true, because if you looked at how the Chelsea fan base has actually reacted to Romelu Lukaku and his comments, it is bitter. It's absolutely bitter. Now just imagine how they would react if he gets onto that pitch. How they would react if he gets onto the pitch and then he starts doing his thing. It would even be worse. Definitely, it would be worse. So I think you could think about it in that perspective. Drop him. They are playing a hard game. They are playing a very, very important game. They need their best striker, Romelu Lukaku. Without a doubt, he's one of the best strikers in the world. He's one of the best strikers in the league at the moment, and he is the best striker at Chelsea at the moment. But to take such a decision to drop him, maybe Thomas Tuchel is actually trying to cover up, trying to protect him, because all the glorious hoorays that were actually sung, they're gonna turn into disastrous boos. He's gonna be booed all through the 90 minutes. I mean, it's so heartbreaking for a player if you're booed by your own fans. It is really, really heartbreaking. Now, the question is it going to get to the Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang situation? Is it going to be like, is he going to be banished? I do not know, but because again, the comments just show the player that he's so disconnected from the team. He's absolutely disconnected from this team. He doesn't have that emotional level of connection. He's disconnected from the team, and I think that's why he might be banished. He might be banished, just like we saw Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Chelsea, if they want to put up a point, if they want to prove a point, if they want to protect their standards, because he said they're not a big club, there are only three big clubs in the world. That is Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Bayern. So, and I said I would have loved to go to any of those clubs, not Chelsea. So, I mean, if you keep playing him, and it's like he's bigger than the club. And what we will try to do, they'll try to show that he's not bigger than the club. That's why Arsenal did with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And what a turnaround in football! What a turnaround! You know, a hero in Romelu Lukaku, when they were beating Arsenal, and many Chelsea fans really singing his praises. And now, finally, things have the tables have turned. He's a villain. He's a disgrace to Chelsea. Interesting. Let me know what you think about that. Lads. Chelsea dropping Romelu Lukaku. Is he gonna be banished? Do you think, if you're a Chelsea fan out there, let me know. Do you think he should be banished? I'll be really, really glad to listen in from you, and I'll speak to you right after that game.